Good morning, sir.
வெரி குட். நான் பார்த்தேன். தேங்க்யூ. அப்படியே பார்த்துக்கிறேன். அவர் சீனிவாஸ் சார் சொன்னார், அதனால் அப்படியே பார்த்துக்கிட்டாங்கன்னு. Jyoti madam, welcome. சரி சார், ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ரெடி. அதில் போய் பரவாயில்ல, ஓகே. உமா வர சொல்லிட்டேன். உமா வந்துட்டு எதாக இருந்தாலும் நீங்கள் டைரக்ஷன் சொல்லிட்டு எப்படி பண்ணேன் நான். ஆஸ் இட் இஸ் இப்போ வந்து இதுதான் இருக்குதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். 20-18 தான் இருக்குது. அப்புறம் வர அப்படியே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி வரோம். ஓகே. இவர் வந்திருக்காரு. ஆமாம், ஸ்டூடெண்ட் தான் வந்துட்டுருக்காங்க. சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே, ப்ளீஸ். ஓகே. தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ. நாளைக்கு கூப்பிட்டு உட்காரச்சுன்னு கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது. இது நைட்டு பூரா எனக்கு இங்கே வர மாட்டேங்குது. இல்லை இருக்கிற உங்களை வர சொல்லிட்டு உங்களுக்கு வேலை கொடுக்க முடியலையே அப்படின்னு.
யோகாவை கூட எல்லா யோகம் நம்ம செய்யணும்.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
சொல்றோமா?
இந்த படத்துல அந்த மாதிரிதான் பாருங்க சார்.
T-shirt already started కదా. அந்த பசங்க சத்தம் பண்ண நம்ம சொன்னேன். நாங்கள் பசங்க சத்தம் போட்டுருக்காங்க. நம்ம பசங்க உமா
Sir?
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா? ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா?
Yes, sir.
Start Uma.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University and Department of Advanced Training and Coaching, we cordially invite you for the webinar. We extend a warm welcome to one and all present here, and we'll start with the program with a silent prayer.
This?
Thank you. Now I request our organizing secretary, Dr. C. Arumugam sir, to welcome the resource person.
Very good morning to one and all. Really, it gives me immense pleasure to see you all in the screen rather in person for the wonderful session during this pandemic situation. You have been listening and watching different webinars on different topics, but we plan to organize a webinars, but we have got a lot of constraints. So finally we decided. Now, I would like to welcome you all. First of all, I would like to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sheila Madam. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Gopinathan, Registrar of our University, all the faculty members from our university, all the participants from all over the country, and the alumni of our university, distant learning students from our university, all other members, veteran member from Volleyball Federation, Dr. S.R. Arichami from Income Tax Department, and my own students from different parts of the country. I would like to extend my warm welcome on behalf of the university, on behalf of the department, on my own behalf, to have a wonderful, meaningful session in terms of talent identification in sports, which is very, very important for the, need of the hour. I would like to welcome our resource person. He is Dr. S. Jayaraman, basically athletic coach. He served in our state, Tamil Nadu, and he had experience of teaching foreign countries. He served as assistant professor in Ethiopia for about 10 years. He has got a wide knowledge in terms of coaching. Yet, while working in Tamil Nadu, he has prepared one CD of throws and jumps, how these throws can be and jumps could be. Like that, the technique and tactical aspect were analyzed and it has given in the CD format, which was very, very wonderful contribution of S. Jayaraman. And after that, he switched over from Ethiopia. He has joined, again, our, Government of India in LNCPE Trivandrum. Apart from the teaching, he was given assignment as the high performance manager, which is the new concept of Kelo India scheme for the promotion of sports at the top level. The Government of India has got momentum towards the medal, towards the podium in the Olympic. So this program, high performance manager, high performance director, and so many factors, so many designations were given, so many things were assigned to the responsible persons, the intelligent persons, the enthusiastic person, and the energetic persons, and among which the Jayaraman has given these high performance manager tasks. So last 3 months back, I attended one international webinar where I got plenty of information in terms of talent identification, which was initiated by Russia during 70s. They only initiated. So many things were learned, and it is the need of the hour to learn, to update. What is talent identification? Why should we identify the talent at the younger age? What is the necessity? What is the outcome? What is the significance? And how far these foreign countries are implemented this scheme, and where we lack, though we are talking in different places about the Olympics, we never thought of planning and execution of the great sports. Sports seems to be simple, seems to be easy, but it is the toughest fact in the world compared to all other facts, even scientists. So sports is not a simple task. It is not a simple component where we need to have lot of hard work, lot of patience, lot of years to spare, 8-year plan, 12-year plan to get a medal. So a lot of things are there for which we need a basic. That is called talent identification. As you all know, India is leaping towards the Olympics. So this program has started. So on behalf of you all, once again, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. S. Jayaraman, high performance manager rather than I assistant professor in the teaching profession, because it has got more value, more fruitful results it is going to be with high performance manager. So on behalf of you all, I personally congratulate him for his wonderful effort to take a step to get a medal in Olympics by using the Kilo India schemes by high performance manager capacity. On behalf of you all, once again, I welcome Dr. S. Jayaraman to share his views, wonderful views for the learners, for the faculty members, for coaches, physical education teacher, and above all, students, friends, to update your knowledge in terms of talent identification, so that we can take one step further, so that the sports can be taken care of, because we have got second populist in the world. So we have got lot of human resources. Only thing is we need energy, we need system to implement it. So we are started by this implementing and updating the knowledge in terms of first step of sports talent identification. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Jayaraman, all other friends, all other student friends, all the learners for this wonderful session. Once again, with my folded hands, I welcome you all for this wonderful session. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sir, shall I proceed?
Yes, yes. Now it is time to listen Dr. S. Jayaraman, and you are all please listen to him very nicely. Kindly cooperate. You are most welcome. Now it is time to listen Dr. S. Jayaraman. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for the warm introduction. Very good morning, all of you. First of all, I welcome each and everyone for my presentation. It's my great pleasure to be here as a part of this webinar organized by TNPSU Chennai, and I personally thank respected Madam Vice Chancellor, respected Dr. V. Gopinath sir, Registrar of the University, and I personally thank Dr. Olym sir for the invitation. The topic which I'm going to share with you today is about the talent identification in sports. And as you all know that talent identification is not a new concept. It has been emerged since 1950s. But even still, some of the allied countries, most of the developed countries, finding a difficulty to set a benchmark in the international arena. It means that how a complex task it is. So even I could find many of my well-wishers, friends, Dr. Grace ma'am, Dr. Jyoti madam, Dr. Vinod sir, Dr. Anandakrishnan sir, and many more. With all your permission and blessings, let me proceed my session. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. It's not a new concept. This has been developed since many years back. And as far as the presentation is concerned, I'm going to stress about the some of the important topics. It's about talent identification model, which has to be given most important. And next one is the pursuit of excellence. In order to excel at the international arena, there are certain steps, there are certain features to be followed, and even in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the talent identification model of different countries. It is surprised to see the model which has been followed by different countries. It is quite impressive and quite innovative. And obviously, this term is not a new one, long-term athlete development, but there are new concepts has come up in the long-term athlete development. And at last, what all the challenges of talent identifications are existing right now. So once the concept is clear, then I think we hope and in future we may have the better talent identification model for a country. And as far as the sporting arena is concerned, the Olympics is given the most importance. Not only Olympics, World Championship and the World Cups. Why all the countries are given much importance to Olympics, World Cups, and World Championship? The reason is very simple, that all the countries wanted to show their supremacy over the other country. So in that aspect, there are top 10 among the top 10 fields. Sport is the one which is holding at the top 2, and music holds at the top 1. So in order to get familiarized, in order to supremacy over the other country, a country has to perform, excel at the international competition by implementing or by imparting proper talent identification model. Even though the policymakers, the politicians, even the media, so even they're all given much importance to the Olympic medal table. But IOC clearly stated that is not the correct order of merit. Yes, obviously we know that number of medals, which is number of gold medals, the country which has more gold medals, so that country will be there at the top of the table. But as far as the total medal is concerned, maybe the country which is holding at the top 3 or top 4, so they may be having more medals. So it means that the Olympic medal table is not properly aligned or it's not properly ordered. As a result, so what the systems are doing, what the policies are doing for each and every country is fighting for the excel, is fighting for the medal table at the Olympics. So they are spending huge amount. They are spending huge energy for identifying the talents. So the topic talent identification, it has to start from the different sport disciplines. There are 33 Olympic sports disciplines, so in which athletes are competing each other. In order to get medals in the Olympics, it is not simple. It's not a simple task. Even the country has to specify. Even the country has to focus. Which country, which event or which sport the country there is a scope for the medal. For example, United States cannot compete in all sport. Yes, so that is mainly based on the physical factors, physiological factors, morphological factors, and topographical factors. Even some of the countries are doing very good performances at the international arena. For example, African countries. Even I like to point out East African countries. As far as Ethiopia and Kenya is concerned, even I like to add Uganda and Morocco. All these countries, when we look into the model is concerned, the talent identification model is concerned, the country is nowhere. Even they are developing countries. Even I can say that they are underdeveloping countries. So as far as the sporting system is concerned, still they follow the traditional forms of training, but they are excel at the international competitions. Even they are the top 5 in the world championship. Why? The reason is so simple, that some of the individuals, some of the potentials are inherited through genetics. Yes. So likewise, based in order to get medal in Olympics, so we have to focus mainly about the focus on the particular sport in which we can able to perform. So that is mainly based on the physiological factors, physical factors, topographical factors, and morphological factors. For example, Ethiopia is doing quite well in the middle and long distance events. The reason is so simple. They are well versed in morphological factors. I mean that their body structure, their body type is exclusively built for middle and long distance events. So that is the reason why they be able to perform much better in the elite competitions. And topographic is concerned, as far as topography is concerned, they are at higher altitude. Even when I was there in Ethiopia, the altitude was which I stayed above 2,000 meters from sea level. It's what that. So that is the reason why the Ethiopian runners naturally, knowingly or unknowingly, they are able to perform much better. Even their physiological factor is concerned, they tend to have 66.8% of red muscle fibers. That is the reason why they perform excel even in middle and long distance events. Even they are restricted to middle and long distance events. Once they extend these events to from middle and long distance to steeplechase or walking, even they could able to perform much better in those events. So medals at a glance. So when we see the Olympic medal tables, there are higher probables from the track and field, aquatics, wrestling, and cycling. And even there are you could find 3 important verticals. On the left side, high medal sports. I mean that where more probables are able to get from this sport, and medium medal sports and low medal sports. As far as this table is concerned, why China is succeeded in 2008 Olympics, in 12, 16, and even they are going to blast in 2021 Olympics. The reason is so simple, that they are choosing a sport in which they can able to perform much better. So they are sending the team not only for the participation, they are also make sure that they will come with the multiple medals. So that's what we are going to see in the forthcoming slides. So as far as for example, in low medal sports, as far as football is concerned, so there are only 6 medals. For example, in men's section, 3 medals, gold, silver, and bronze. And as far as women is concerned, again 3. So 3 plus 3, only 6 medals. But whatever how much effort you are putting, how much money is allotted, so huge amount is allotted, huge energy is spent only for 6 medals. But once you are converting those budget, those energy, those scientific implications to other sports, as far as aquatics is concerned, 141 medals. It means that there is a huge scope of at least 1 or 2 medals from aquatics. But as far as competition is concerned, even I'm not saying that aquatics is a so simplest game. No, even though aquatics is quite complicated, but as far as football is concerned, there are huge countries, European countries are highly dominated. But there is a probability of only 6. But as far as aquatics is concerned, 141. So this is how each and every country should focus for the talent identification model. So in which country, in which sport, a country can excel, can perform excel at the international competition. Yes, that talent is very important. Everybody is having talent, but only some of the talents are uh, some of the talents are found. As far as talent is concerned, talent is something you have, something you are, something you can be, or something you can develop. Yes, the talent is inbuilt, talent is inherited, but only thing which it has to be stimulated. So when I went to Ethiopia, so what happened there, where I could be able to train one of the athlete, 400 meters trainer, 400 meters runner, where I could spend just 3 months of training, 3 months of time, but the athlete performed 47.8 seconds in the national games, and he got gold in national games. I mean, Ethiopian national sports festival. It's like a national games. So just 3 months of training, and he has no training years of experience. He has no training age. It means that he is inbuilt. He has a lot of qualities. So that has to be stimulated. Once the proper training is given, the right training to be given to the right talent. So obviously, we can do much better. We can perform excel at any level. Talent identification. The main aim of talent identification is an accurate prediction of those individuals who have the potential to compete at world-class levels. Yes, most of the countries, almost all the countries are putting their effort in order to perform excel at the international competition. Only few countries are coming up. Only few countries are excel, but most of the countries are nowhere at the international competition. The reason why? The reason is so simple that somewhere the talent identification model went wrong. It might be talent detection program, it might be talent identification, or it might be talent selection, or it might be talent development. So somewhere the systems went wrong. So that is the reason why they could not be able to perform better. Yeah. Talent identification, the top performances are not achieved by chance. It is not a cakewalk. We cannot expect the results in a day or two. So in order to get Olympic champion, world champion, we have to spend at least 10 years of durations. Or in other words, 10,000 hours we have to deliberately practice. This rule is highly adaptable, highly applicable in order to get any champion, in order to get any Olympic champion or world champion. The reason why we are not able to perform much better at the international competition, the reason is so simple that our athletes are trained at the earliest stages. So once they started training at the earliest stages, what will happen? Obviously, they reach their maximum performances between 15 to 18 years of age. And once they reach childhood, once they reach adulthood, they are burnt out. So before they entering into the elite level, they are not able to perform much better. So even we could find a lot of examples here in our country. We are the world champion, junior world champion. We have got many medals in Youth Olympics. We have got many medals in the international junior or youth championship. But as far as Olympic is concerned, we are counting the medals 1 or 2. The reason is yearly specialization, or that leads to yearly burnout. So at what age we have to start? Whether to start at the early stage, during adolescence, during puberty, or during adulthood. So that we are going to see in the next slides. Yeah, as far as the rise of talent identification, as far as the concept is concerned, that most of the countries, they were able to find difficulty during 1950s and 60s, and the performances were almost down. The performance were declined. So particularly the Eastern European countries, they have focused and they found some important talent identification model. So they have imparted to the system. So due to that one, 80% of the results, 80% of the medals, which was got by Bulgaria in 1976 Olympics. So they have implemented almost all the East European countries. They have implemented proper talent identification model after 1960s. So the result is they could able to perform much better in 1972 Olympics, 1976 Olympics, and 1980 Olympics. Even they were the champions and they were the top at the medal table at the Olympics. And one more example, the best example is China 2008 Olympics. In 2008 Olympics, China has performed much better than the previous Olympics. Why? Because they have implemented a proper talent identification model since 2001. The name of the project called Project 119. They had a very good talent identification model. So that has been executed well, and that has been monitored in all the stages. So that is the direct result of 2008 Olympics at Beijing. And even this talent identification model is not limited to sport. Even some of the sports like art, education, and dance, they were also following the talent identification model for their development. Yeah, that's what I told earlier. Olympic podium from 1960 to 2000 Olympics. See, here you could find Cuba, Russia, Germany. As far as this table is concerned, Cuba was holding the position of 53rd during 1960s. As far as 2000 is concerned, they are the top 10. Yes, the reason is so simple that they found and they have implemented a very strong talent identification model for their country. And as far as you all know that Russia has been doing tremendous job in the international arena. Even they are able to maintain top 5 in all the Olympics. And Germany, but Cuba is concerned, sorry. Yeah, Cuba is concerned, the population is not that much as we have. The total area what they have, that is, the percentage is very less than our country, but they could be able to sustain their position in the Olympics 1992, 96, and 2005, 8, 10. So it is a difficult and complicated task for our country to get top 10 position in the Olympics. But nowadays, the systems has been already generated. All the athletes and all the coaches, all the systems are already boarded in. So we are hoping to see the best results in the forthcoming Olympics. As far as the features of high performance is concerned, there are 5 important verticals. One is infrastructure. The basic amenities, the basic sporting facilities, the stadia has to be constructed. And it should be well placed, and it should be utilized by all the populations. The infrastructure is very, very important. As far as the second vertical and third vertical is concerned, for the high performance, talent identification and talent selection are the two important pillars for the performance outcome. Yes, and obviously the next one is coaching and skill development. That is after the talent selection. Once you find the potential athletes, then after that all the remaining pillars will going to exist. Coaching and skill development and participation of higher level competition. That is next level. But at the base, we have to have a very good talent identification model, and we have to have the very good infrastructure facilities. So that is the reason why now the ministry has given green signal to the public of country that anyone can utilize these size stadiums without no cost. It means that there is a possibility of people started coming in, then more participation will be there. So that will leads to increases the sporting culture of a country. Obviously, more participation leads to more sporting culture. As far as the pursuit of excellence is concerned, the verticals starts from the talent detection, talent identification, talent development, and at last talent selection. The detection of talents, so that has to be find out from the general population. It means that a person doesn't have any experiences, he doesn't have any sporting background. We are able to find the talent from the general public, common public. But as far as talent identification is concerned, we are going to identify the talent, the people who are already bordered in. It means that a person who is having a sporting background, yes, so there we could find a lot of differences. So as far as talent detection is concerned, almost all the European countries are following talent detection. There is no proper talent identification model. But talent identification is concerned, what we are doing in the sense that we are identifying the talents from the background experiences of an athlete. Yes, next one is talent development. Development will not take place by giving the infrastructure, by giving the equipments, by giving the facilities. No, we have to provide the opt materials, we have to provide the opt equipment, we have to provide opt playing surface, and we have to provide the proper boarding and lodging. As far as talent development is concerned, we have a wrong concept that only at the national camp, only at the elite level, people are able to get all the benefits, higher coaching system, higher boarding lodging, and high coaching education system, higher supporting staffs, medical staffs. It is provided only at the elite level. But talent development is concerned, it has to be provided since from the grassroots. Once these systems are well versed at the grassroots, so what will happen? The talents will be transferred from grassroots to intermediate, from intermediate to elite. So where we could able to find the real fruit at the elite level. And next one is about talent selection. It means that once all these three important verticals are completed, so we could able to find the talents from the pool. Or the question arises, only these four important verticals are available in the pursuit of excellence? No. Now, one more and the recent approach for the talent identification, that is called talent transfer. Talent transfer is nothing but the trained athlete, the elite athletes are switching from one sport to another sport before his retirement or after his retirement. This even we could find, even we could able to find, even we could able to use this concept, talent transfer, for our coaching system in India. So even we could find many examples here. Shelley Rudman, she got silver in 2000 Winter Olympics, and after that she had shifted from Winter Olympics skiing to 400 meters hurdles. Rebecca Romero, she got silver medal in 2004 Olympics in rowing, and after that she shifted her event to cycling, and where she got silver medal in World Cup. And Alicia Gamplin, again she got this champion got gold in 2002 Winter Olympics. Then she shifted to skiing. And one more, and the best example for a Great Britain team, that the secret of Great Britain in 2012 Olympics is that they have secured many medals in aquatics. The reason is so simple, that all the elite gymnasts or switch over, the people who are not there in the team, they were able to switch over from gymnasts to aquatics. So that is the reason why they could able to perform much better in aquatics. Even London 2012 Olympics, Britain got more medals in aquatics. It means that I'm not saying that all the elite athletes will be all the elite athletes transfer from one sport to another sport, that he will do a remarkable achievement. No, obviously no. Where the transfer should take place, where we could find the similarity of skills. For example, ice hockey to field hockey, from baseball to cricket. So even we could find Lance Klusener and Janty Rhodes. They were shifting from baseball and hockey to cricket. Why? So we could find many talents in other sports. Even they are performing excel in two sports. So that is called the talent transfer. And obviously, Usain Bolt, he's also switched over from 100 meters to football, but unfortunately he could not able to perform much better. But we could find many athletes, many elite athletes are transferring from one sport to other sport. It means that we could think of this point for the talent identification model of our country. Why this topic is very important, because the reason is very simple. In order to excel at the elite level, we have to find out the great talents. We have to spot out the talent. How to spot out the talent? When I walked in Ethiopian street, there are many, the talents are scattered. I could find lot of Olympians. Wherever I go, I met the people. Yes, then they used to ask me, teacher, you are from which department? Yes, I'm from sports science. Then he will say that, yes, I'm a bronze medal in Olympics. Just casually people used to walk. The Olympians and the potentials are scattered in Ethiopia, but the only 3 athletes are able to perform from each country. So that is the reason why Ethiopians, or otherwise, if the rule permits, one country can participate. I mean, from 10 athletes can participate from one country, in the sense all the 10 medals will go to Ethiopia or Kenya. And another important concept of talent identification is that we have to recognize and we have to find the hidden talent. By recognizing the talent at the early stage, and they can show their talent at the extreme level. And I'm not saying that we have to find the talent at the early stage, then obviously all the athletes are performing excel at the elite level. No, there are some dropouts. There are some breakout due to many reasons. Whether they cannot able to sustain the load. There may be personal reason or maybe injury. So, but we have to monitor the system since from the childhood till they reach the top performances. And it will be a big asset for a country. Obviously, once more talented athletes, more champions are available in a country, obviously that will be a boosting factor for the aspiring young athletes. Yeah. Next one is principles of talent identification. You know, talent identification is a long-term process. We do not get a performance. We do not get a medal in a year, in 2 years or 3 years. Obviously, it has to be a systematic. I mean, it is a long-term process, and it should be future performance structure. It means that the target to be fixed, that is our ultimate aim. And once we bring the students, or once the students are voted in to our system, so what will happen? Every year weeding out systems, every year performance analysis, and every year some students are dropped out. But the reason, the system the system to be changed. For example, at least the player has to be there for 3 years, and every three years it has to be properly monitored, scientifically monitored, and systematic approach to be done for the analysis, for the performance analysis. Then after that we can go for weeding out process. And next one is wide range of factors to be focused. Yes, you know, we are focusing only about biomotor abilities. No, there are a lot of factors are highly involved highly involved to bring the performances at the higher level. Physical factors, we have to see the maturation level. You know, what is his peak height velocity, what is his body weight, what is his lean body mass. So once the maturation takes place, then only we could be able to find out a lot of changes are happening after puberty. But before they reach puberty, most of the students or most of the potential athletes are weeded out. So that is the fate of the system. I'm not saying fate of the system. I'm not saying about the particular country. I mean the overall structure, overall view stated that. So we have sports school, we have sports hostels, but every year weeding out process happening. So it has to be changed. At least the student has to be there for 2 to 3 years. Then we have to properly monitor. Then after that we can go for the next process. And it should be progressive and more specific. Yes. That's what I mentioned earlier. We have to focus, or we have to wait till 10 years, till the athletes reaches training age 10 years. You know, what will happen here? Coaches are changing. Coaches are frequently changed. Athletes are frequently changed due to many reasons. Suppose one coach is producing best results. Then obviously we could find more number of students are going through. Why it's happening? Once a coach is able to produce good performances at the earlier stage, it means that he is going to spoil the athletes. We have to consider the Olympic concept, that is athletes first, winning second. We are going to spoil the life of a child. Yes, we may get one medal from him, but he might be dropped out. He might be burned out at the early stage because of poor training system. And the last principle, that is less trainer factors to be given more importance. Yes. We have to find out the needs, demands, and requirements. What is his plus and what is his minus? And the system has to focus more about the weaknesses instead of focusing more about the strength point. Once we focus more about the weakness points, obviously the weakness factors that will be elevated, that will be in line with the plus strength aspects. Obviously, the athlete will carry the performances higher and higher. And at last, the most important principles in talent identification that is called large sample population. We have to have a sample from the larger population. A country which is having a huge population, I mean huge sample, they will get more talents for the particular country. So that is why China is succeeded in 2008 Olympics. China succeeded in 2000 Olympics just because of large population, large sample is collected in 2001. Even it is surprising to know the numbers. It is around 2 lakh samples are selected, and obviously after that 20,000 athletes are shifted from the federation to the national camp. 20,000 athletes are training for Olympic sport. Now let's move to the Bombas model of talent identification. He has two different approaches. One is natural selection, and another one is scientific selection. The natural selection, that is assumes that the athlete goes through the normal challenges of playing sport. I mean that the natural selection in the sense that we are getting the talents from the natural settings. There is no scientific background. There's no scientific system of monitoring. So in which we are finding the talents from the natural selection. But many researchers, many experts argues that how can we use these natural selections for the elite level? Obviously, it will not work. But some countries are exempted for the natural selection. So that's what I mentioned earlier about the East African countries, particularly Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda. As far as scientific selection is concerned, it seems to be a proactive procedure. So a lot of scientific implications and systematic approaches to be followed, starting from selection, starting from identification, from then development, then systems of training, then monitoring of training, then therapeutic usages, then recovery. Likewise, we have to follow the scientific selection of talent identification. And experts also suggested that apart from these aspects, we have to focus more about the specific biological profiles, like physical factors, physiological factors, psychological factors, emotional factors, and injury aspects. And we have to also consider the outstanding biomotor abilities. Yes, biomotor abilities in the sense that like motor qualities like speed, strength, endurance, and etc. And talented athlete also should have very good, strong psychological traits. A person who is able to bear the load, then only a person can able to sustain in a sport. So elite athlete should have a very good psychological backup and a high level of commitment. That is obviously that is needed for any kind of sports or any kind of athlete. So these are the foundation for talent identification criteria. And the next model, I mean, there is a important positive sign of scientific selection of Bombas model. Why we have to consider the scientific selection? There are 5 important reasons. One is that time saving. Yes, obviously, when we go for scientific selection and scientific monitoring, there it is properly segregated. It is well planned. It is systematically planned. What we have to do. For example, we are preparing the microcycle this week, and what is the plan of next month? Then what is the plan of after competition? Then what is the plan of during transition? So likewise, all the approaches are systematically done, and it is well planned and it is well structured. So whenever we proceed to the scientific selection of talent identification, so time saving will be very, very less and eliminates a high volume of work. Yes. Of course, we have to think of the concept quality. not quantity. The quantity which we were doing and which we are doing, that will not give us the positive results. The quality of the work is most important. Instead of going for 300 meters, 20 repetitions, what will happen? Obviously, whatever the athlete has, that will come down. It's not necessary to go for 30 repetitions of 300 meters. It is not necessary at the age of 18 years. But even I have done during my school days when I was in sports school or sports hostel. I have done 30 repetitions. So I ran 10.8 seconds when I was in 12th standard. After that, in college, I could not able to perform much better. Even 10.7, I reached 10.7. That's it. But see, the early specialization takes place at the early stage, and I was burnt out when I reached 12th standard. I mean that I have done the quantity of work was more than the quality. So here we have to think of more quality than the quantity. Increases competitiveness. Yes, of course. Once we follow the scientific selection, once we follow the scientific aspects of talent identification, this will increases the competitiveness among the athletes, among the coaches, and obviously that will increases the self-confidence. Ultimately, it is a responsibility. It's a responsibility of a coach or a supporting staff or a medical staff, to increase the self-esteem of the athlete at all levels. So what will happen? We could able to find the supporting staffs, coaching staffs, and the medical staffs are only at the elite levels. So whatever the coach says, that is the final wordings. Yes. Then what will happen? Sometimes the coach says some negative aspects. I mean, he used some negative statements. What will happen? The self-esteem comes down. Obviously, sometimes the athlete may go for suicide. Instead of increasing the performances, you may spoil one athlete, or you may be the reason to spoil one athlete. So next one is facilitate scientific training. Yeah. So we have to have the scientific training at the earlier stages, whether it is pre-adolescence or adolescence, after adolescence, post-adolescence, or adulthood. So we have to have a systematic and scientific training to be followed at all the capacities. Yes. Bolly's development model. I mean, after Bompas model, Bompas stated that two important models. One is natural and scientific. And here, he is totally against Bompas model. Why? Because the model which is created by Bolly's and team, some of the sport reaches almost 7 to 8 years. 7 to 8 years are eligible or sufficient to reach at the elite level. It is not necessary to wait for 10 years. But some sport, we have to wait for 10 years. For example, athletics, team sports, combat sports, we have to wait for 10 years in order to get an Olympian. That is the reason why athletics is known as late specialization event. So even some of the athletes, even the athletes are able to perform much better between 23 to 27 years. But as far as middle and long distance events are concerned, even they could be able to perform much better about 30 years, even 35 years. They are able to perform about 30 years. So that is the reason why Bolly's development model is focusing about early specialization sports. It means that these sports can be we have to emphasize, or we have to start early of these particular sports. For example, gymnastics, figure skating, swimming, diving, and table tennis. Even we could be able to find the Olympic champion in gymnastics at the age of 13, 14, 15 years. So where is the concept? The concept is entirely different. what the concept says, that the performers can excel after adulthood. But here, as far as gymnastics is concerned, they are performing much better. They are performing excel only at the puberty level. It means that this kind of sport, we have to start the training at the earlier stages. But some sports, here in endurance, power, and combat sports, it is not necessary to wait for 10 years, and even they can reach their performances between 4 to 7 years of training, and even they need to have just 3,000 to 7,000 hours of training. So within this range, the athlete could be able to perform much better. So based on the event, based on the sport, first we have to find out, first we have to classify the events, then after that we have to put the talent into this category. For example, gymnastics can be started at the age of 5, at the age of 5 or 6. So when you take from 5 to 6, 10 years, it means that 15 years. Yes, so we can start at the early stage, but the same case cannot be applicable in athletics. So likewise, there are many changes are happening during puberty as far as physical changes or physiological changes are concerned. But gymnastics, some of the qualities are not necessary. Some qualities are not required even to perform gymnastics. So once the puberty stage is over, then what will happen? The athlete, the performer, cannot do the artistic movement, because a lot of changes are happening, a lot of development takes place as far as growth and development is concerned. Yes. Now, the country which they are using the current methods of talent identification, there are 7 important verticals. First one is anthropometry. Next one is physiology, psychology, sociological aspects, physical and motor abilities, game-specific skills, and injury epidemiology. And we have to have all these concepts. We have to have all these points when we go for talent identification. For example, once we are in a committee to find a talent identification, first please make sure that whether all these parameters, all these variables are included in your talent identification model or not, because all these verticals are directly or indirectly influencing the talent identification models in order to bring the potentials for the elite coaching systems. Yes. What are the anthropometric variables? Here there are the some of the predictor for performances. So some potentials we have to consider as far as physical factor is concerned, as far as anthropometric factor is concerned: height, weight, body size, bone diameter, muscle girth, somatotype, body fat, and growth. I'm not saying that we have to have all these parameters to be monitored or to be checked for the initial talent identification. No, there is a long-term. That's what I mentioned earlier. It's a long-term process. So what are the variables to be selected at the early stage? And some variables can be done maybe at the adolescent stage. Some variables can be monitored at the after puberty stage. So likewise, we have to have the homework, we have to have the framework, then we have to proceed. Then next one is about physiological predictors. That is about aerobic predictors, anaerobic capacity, anaerobic power. Then sociological predictor, that is about parental support, socioeconomic background. Even the second point, socioeconomic background, and most of the athletes and most of the performance are in our country, they are from the poor economic background, and their education. And we have to monitor, and we have to have the proper education system, those who are involved in elite sporting system. So what will happen? For example, one athlete is boarded in our scheme, sports hostel or sports school. Unfortunately, the boy is weeded out. Unfortunately, the boy is out. So what is his future? Once he involves in sports, obviously sometimes he may not concentrate in studies, so his future will be spoiled. So, but the Chinese coaching system is concerned, they are giving equal importance to education as well. They are giving importance education as well in the Chinese coaching education system. Coach-athlete relationship, that is also very important. Then hours in practice. So that's what we are going to see in the next slide. How many hours to be practiced, for a different years, and cultural background. Yes, this is also very important. For example, Haryana Chandigarh. The people from Haryana Chandigarh, they are well versed in wrestling, judo, and boxing. So this kind of talents can be easily identified, can be easily find out, and where we could concentrate more about this particular sport. So likewise, Jalandhar, maybe hockey, Punjab hockey. So likewise, even northeast states like Manipur, we could be able to find very good talents of boxing, even archery. So likewise, we could be able to find even the cultural background plays a very important role to identify the talents. And the next factor is about psychological predictor. That is about attention and motivation, anxiety control, game intelligence, creative thinking, motor technical skill, anticipation, decision making, concentration, self-confidence. There are plenty of variables are available, but we cannot. It's a tough time to merge together, to put together, and to find out, to monitor to the athletes. It's very difficult. But I'm not saying that it has to be done. It has to be done at one point of time. No, we can divide. We can have some variables, and that has to be done in the periodical manner. And apart from this, the biomotor abilities are very, very important. We have to consider all these important, the physical, physiological, sociological, psychological factors are highly important and highly influential. But basic biomotor abilities are very, very important. And all these four factors are supporting the basic biomotor abilities in which we could able to find a better talent. Yeah. The models which was followed in Australia, for example, when the Olympic bidding was done in around 90s, I think Sydney Olympics 2020 Olympics in Australia, in Sydney. So what happened? The action plan was set in the year 1991. So they had three important models. One is screening at the school level. 8 tests are conducted, and top 2%, I mean, the top 2% of the athletes are selected from the 8 tests, and they will be put them into the sports specific testing. Almost in all the schools in Australia, so they were collected all the samples out of 8 tests. So the best talents, I mean the top 2% of the best talents are put them in the sports specific testing. So all the sports specific testing was done during this stage. Then after that, top 10% will be transferred to talent development. So here the development takes place. It means that they were feeding to all the athletes in terms of scientific training, systematic coaching, systematic approach, by providing supporting staffs, coaching staffs, and all the staffs. Then after that, once the development takes place, then after that they have brought them into the elite category. So that is the reason why in Sydney Olympics, Australia could be able to perform much better than ever. So this is the model which they have followed in 2000 Olympics. Yeah, this is very interesting. I could say that this is this model is the forefront of all the talent identification model, because this model has been initiated initially by East European countries. So they have developed the model based on 3 categories: basic selection phase, preliminary selection, and final selection. In basic selection phase, so they have found many variables like height and weight, speed, endurance, work capacity, power, sport-specific test for performance level, and technical efficiency. All these tests had been conducted at the basic level. So after that, they found some talents, some potentials, and they will be transferred to preliminary selection phase, and where the athletes are progressively monitored, and they are able to find the physical ability and sport specific test, rate of physical growth, biological age, and psychological aptitude. All these testings were done in the preliminary selections. There is no weeding out at any stages. Even the highlight of this system is that in case a person is weeded out, in case a person is not listed down in the basic selection phase, again they will be given chance one more year, because the maturation takes place. Some people may mature earlier, some people may mature late. So there is a chance again. They were given one more chance to board into the coaching system. So likewise, there is no weeding out, and here 18 months of training, and they were progressively monitored. And at this stage, then at the last one is about final selection phase. Here the standard sport specific test, rate of progress in sport, stability of performances, results of physical capacity test, result of event, and result of psychology test, and anthropometric measurements. All these tests were conducted. See here, out of all these 3 phases, so many variables and so many parameters were monitored, and so many parameters were tested, out of which they found a very good and real talents in which they could able to perform much better in 1972, 76, and 80 Olympics. So this is the secret of Eastern European countries. Yeah, as far as the talent identification model of China is concerned, China is always exceptional. So they are always differs. Why? Because the reason is so simple, that their strategy towards Olympics, their tactics towards Olympics, it's entirely different from other countries. Here you could find the provincial sports management center. It means that this is the base level, where all the Warada athletes, all the local, all the zonal athletes are trained here, and from here, from zonal level to elite level, here they are sending around 2,000 athletes from provincial level to national squads. To the national camp. It is not 2,000, it is 20,000. 20,000 elite athletes. Supplied from Warada level to national squads. Again, they will be shifted into 2 directions. They are diverted. One is almost most of the athletes are shifted to 16 Olympic sports centers, and some of the athletes are transferred to 7 non-Olympic sports management centers. And you might be asking question, why from national squad, why some of the athletes are transferred to non-Olympic sports management centers? The reason is very simple. Here, the Chinese strategy works. Whatever or whenever, they are focused more about the traditional sports. Why they are focusing more about traditional sports? In the sense that traditional sports are introduced almost in every Olympics. So that is the reason why 1992, 96, 2000, 2004, 2008 Olympics, they were able to cope up, and they were able to achieve many medals in all the traditional games. For example, badminton was introduced in 1988, I believe. 1988, some of the sport which was introduced in 1992, some of the sport which was introduced in 1996, but Chinese were practicing, Chinese were able to cope up just 5 years before of the Olympics. So they were able to strengthen their team. Then once the particular sport is introduced to Olympics, then they will dominate in the particular event. So that is the reason why the Chinese, the strategy of Chinese is entirely different. And next one is, the strategy of Chinese towards Olympics. They concentrated more about the individuals than the team sports. China has always ensured that there is enough participation, and they are also make sure that participation is not their criteria. So they are always focusing about the multiple medals from particular sport, and they have sent maximum number of athletes, and in which they are getting multiple medals. And for example, if you see here in the figure, so badminton, out of badminton, they have got 16 medals from badminton sport, and gymnastics rhythmic 29 medals, in the sense that badminton was introduced in the year 1992. So see the strategy of China. So likewise, so they have been continuously dominating in these events since 1992 till today. So that is the reason why. So here the total medal tally, total number of medals secured from different sport: gymnastic rhythmic 29 medals, judo 8 golds, table tennis 24 golds, and taekwondo 5 golds. Likewise, even China is good at a couple of sports for which a lot of medals can be won, particularly in gymnastics. Likewise, in order to get medal in Olympics, we have to follow different strategy. So that strategy is the strategy is to be aligned with in line with the coaching system. So that is what even currently we have the top system. TOPS. So the scheme, the top scheme is also working hard in order to achieve excel at the 2024 and 2028 Olympics. So I hope and wish I hope and wish to have more medals at 24 and 28 Olympics, particularly for India is concerned. And the talent identification model of India, we have been following the talent identification model since 1984 till 2000. Still we have a lot of schemes, but some of the schemes have been followed, like special area games, sports project development area, sports hostel schemes, soil training centers, army boys sports companies, NSTC, National Sports Talent Contest, and now currently we have National Center of Excellence. We have soil training centers, and the Olympians. The Olympic camp, and the national camp is focused for Olympics. That is called TOPS, Target Olympic Podium Schemes, and many athletes and many performers are already selected, and they are already boarded in for 24 and 28 Olympics. So the system is much seriously working on for the development of coaching system of India's concern. And talent search, how we are able to find the talent. So first one is about the open trial, in the sense that we are calling the students for open through advertisement. And next one is annual sports competition through school nationals, SGFI, inter-universities, and NSF, National Sports Federation under Khelo India scheme. Even we could find some of the best athletes from Khelo India university sport, even Khelo India sport. Likewise, those people are comes under Khelo India athletes. And the national championship, through national championship also we could able to find some potentials. And this is the important portal which is known as National Sports Talent Search Portal, or SAI, and it's nothing but anybody, any eligible youth can apply to SAI schemes from anywhere in the country, from anywhere from the country. This is the portal. Once you log in, so there are three important processes. One is the candidate has to register, and next one is he has to create a profile and apply for a scheme. It means that once you log in, then you will get, there are a lot of parameters, lot of profiles, lot of tests to be conducted. And once you feed it all the data, so once your data are fulfilled with or in matching, your data are matched with the norms, current norms, what we have, then you'll be called for a particular center. Then you'll be tested. So this is how this system is executed. National Sports Talent Search Portal of SAI. So anybody can attend. Anybody can apply for this scheme, particularly the youth. And this is the important identification and development model which is proposed for a team sport, particularly a team sport. So at the entry level, sports scheme at the entry level. So we are inducting the talent at the age of 12. There is no target. Target is not fixed, and talent development takes place from 12 to 15 years. There is no weeding out process here. There is no target. Target is fixed. There is no target, and once they reach 15 years, 3 years of training here, then they will be cope up to play for under 15 league, particularly in football. And after 15 years of age, almost the athletes able to reach their maximum maturation. So there we could think of progression of biomotor and growth maturity. Then again, the athletes will be here, and there will be one weeding out after the puberty, that is under 15 years. Then the remaining athletes will be transferred from grassroots to intermediate. Then boys under 16 years. Then again, these athletes will be there for 3 years. Then performance analysis and evaluation takes place for 3 years. Again, there is a weed out after 3 years. That is under 18 years. Then the target is fixed for under 18 league. Then from intermediate, then they'll be shifted to elite athletes. Elite, once they reach adulthood, I mean above 18 years, so they'll be shifted to elite group. Then the target is fixed for under 21 years. Even they can play for national competition. Again, will have one more weeding out at the age of 21. Then at last, the athlete will be shifted to national camp for the senior category. So here he'll play for Olympics or World Championship or World Cups. So whatever it is. So likewise, the model has been created and proposed. And the other important topic is that long-term athlete development. So the long-term athlete development is concerned. Again, BOMPA has identified 2 important phases for periodization. So, but this long-term development model, it was not convinced by many of the experts and many of the researchers. So what he has developed phase 1 and phase 2. It's about 6 to 14 years old and 15 years and older. So this here again he further classified into 2 categories: initiation stage 6 to 10 years old and athletic formation stage 11 to 14 years old. But where already the BOMPA's model natural selection was denied by many of the experts, and even due to lack of empirical evidences. So BOMPA's long-term athletic development model was not succeeded, and it was denied by many of the experts. And after that, even we have already seen the Olym model. So what he described, that the athletes cannot be identified based on their ages. So athlete has to be identified based on the sport. It means that what all the sport is selected. So we have to identify that sport into 2 categories. One is early specialization sport and late specialization sport. So based on which the students are classified and students are put them into different categories. And they also brought 4 important models. That is fundamental stage, training to train stage, training to compete stage, and training to win stage. It means that it's very simple. Here, only at the young age, 6 to 10 years, here the athletes are finding fun in participation. And when they move to 10 to 14, how to train on a schedule, and from 14 to 18, how to train to compete, and at last, then they'll learning how to taper and pick. So likewise, they'll participate in the elite competitions. As far as athletics is concerned, this slide is quite familiar among the athletes, among the coaches. Even though still I like to explain about this topic, about this content particularly. The stages of athletic development. This also it's a long-term process. So kids athletic age, it starts from 6 to 9. Multi-event stage, event group stage, specialization, and performances. So here, starting from 6, and here up to here, we have to focus. We have to focus, and we have to wait till once the athlete reaches till the performance stage here. It means that we have to wait almost 10 years of age, 10 years of duration. Yes. So kids athletic age here, obviously the kids are developed. Kids are given the basic and fundamental motor abilities. And multi-event stage, it means that multi-event activities are given importance. And event group, in the sense that, for example, sprinter. I mean that all the sprinters are put them in one category, that is called event group category, all 100, 200, and 400. Then once they are familiarized, once the age is reached above 15 years, then they will put them into specialization category, where the athlete event is fixed at the age of 16. Then after that, they'll be focusing more about the performances. So likewise, we have to have the different stages for the development. And the new approach model that is developed by Lloyd and Oliver, that is called youth physical development model. The model is quite famous, which was developed in the year 2012. Almost, this model is quite differs from long-term athlete development model. So what the model says that all fitness qualities are trainable at all stages of development. It means that we can give training, we can give speed training at the age of 6. We can give strength training at the age of 6. We can give speed endurance at the age of 6. So the model says that we can give at any type of training at all stages of development. But the coach's priority must be focused on training for at different times. So the coach has to finalize. The coach has to the importance is given to coach. So where he could able to frame, what type of work to be given, what type of training unit to be given at this age. Likewise, he has to monitor and he has to do accordingly. Then at last, injury prevention, general health promotion, muscular strength, and motor skill development are the concept or the core concepts of new approach model that is called youth physical development model. Here this is the model. Here this is for males. This model, I mean the light shaded, that is called FMS, that is fundamental movement skill, and here dark shaded, that is known as that denotes sports specific skills. And during from the age 6 to 11 years, where we could think of fundamental movement skills, all these skills can be given, even mobility, agility, speed, and power and strength. But the percentage we have to consider, and we have to be more cautious about the percentage of the quality than the quantity. And after that, once they reach the puberty age, 12 years, then the sports specific skills to be highlighted, to be given importance. Here the intensity will be increased, the load will be increased. So obviously here we have to focus more about the sport specific skills. But that is mainly based on the type of sport which you choose. And this is for a female category, and the same way here. Yeah. Next one is about which age, enrollment of age options for various sport. In which what is the recommended age for doing gymnastics? What age an athlete can start swimming? So likewise, the researches are done. So for example, gymnastics, acrobatics, and diving, they can start at the early stage. So that's what I mentioned earlier. They can start at the age of 7 years. Why? Because they have to start at the age of 7. Why? Because this all these sports comes under early specialization sports. It means that we have to have the best performances, the topmost performances at the earliest stages. So that is the reason why we have to put the athlete into 7 years of age. So likewise, football, we have to start at the age of 10, rugby, hockey, and athletics we have to start 11 years. Even after that, it's not an issue. So likewise, so some of the age recommendation is given by the researcher Alexander. So next one is about the age related training. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. We have to concentrate and we have to focus more about the quality than the quantity. What type of general training to be what type of training to be given at the age of 14 to 15, and what is the percentage? I mean, how many sessions to be given, or how many sessions to be given importance for general training at the age of 14, and how many sessions to be given importance of specific training at the age of 14 years. For example, general abilities concern, to improve the general qualities, we have to have 3 to 4 sessions at all the age groups, 14 till 23. But as far as specific skills or specific test is concerned, specific even skills are concerned, we have to give only 1 session per week. No, this is general training. This is specific training. Out of 12 weeks, out of 7 days, we have 12 sessions of training. But as far as this table is concerned, hardly we have only 5 sessions of training. So remaining 7, so there will be a question mark. There will be a question. But remaining 7, they can go for any recreational type of activities. So either they can go for any type of recreational activities, or they can go for passive rest. So nothing harm to take passive rest during this stages. Why? Because already quality of training are given in these 3 to 4 sessions, and quality of training, particularly specific training, is given in 1 session. Yes, there's a huge relationship between of different ages versus talent identification. The chronological age, biological age, developmental age, and training age. As you all know that chronological age is concerned, that's a calendrical age. For example, your date of birth is 2010. I mean, your chronological age will be 10 years of age. As far as biological age is concerned, your physical maturity of the athlete. Yes, we have to consider the biological age. So as far as talent identification is concerned, so the biological age is very, very important. Why? Because physical maturity takes place. Even some of the athletes, for example, 14 years of age, athlete A, and same 14 years of age, athlete B. Athlete A is matured, athlete B is not matured. So in such cases, where we could find lot of happenings, lot of development, lot of growth and development takes place on athlete A. But as far as B is concerned, there is a vast difference between A and B. The reason is so simple, that is because of physical maturity. So we have to consider more about the biological age. And next one is about the developmental age. The developmental age is nothing but it's a complex interaction between physical, mental, emotional, and social development. The developmental age, it means that the athlete should be well versed in physical aspects, mental aspects, emotional aspects, and social aspects. Some athletes may be good in physical. He might be having very good physique, but he may not perform, or he may not have very good psychological backup. So there are a lot of variations we could find in the developmental age is concerned. And last one is training age. Training age is nothing but how long an athlete can train scientifically and systematically in particular sport. So this is very important as far as talent identification is concerned. But we could find a lot of challenges in talent identification. So that's what I mentioned earlier, growth and maturation. I said earlier in my presentation in the slides that we have to find the talent at this age, and we have to start the training at this age. But as far as the challenges of talent identification is concerned, growth and maturation plays a very important role. matured boys are taller and heavier than the peer group. Yes, obviously. So what happened when we identify the talents? So we are taking the best talent. We are taking the best athletes. For example, a person who is having very good height, very good weight. Obviously, as far as the model is concerned, we have to find those talents. But ultimately, the immature boy is slipped from there. We missed. We may miss. He may be good talent, but we don't know. But we have to focus more about the growth and maturation aspect. So we should not think about we have to think about the matured aspects during the talent identification model is concerned. And next one is about biological model. Yes. So biological model happens even above 12 years. All the changes are happening, particularly in male and in boys and girls. It happens above 12 years. So, but some of the talent identification model starts from age of 7, 8, 9. But here also we could find a lot of challenges. Aerobic capacity increases during childhood. Yes, peak of VO2 max that is reached. I mean, peak height velocity and weight velocities that is almost at peak. That will develop the VO2 max. Anaerobic power, that is increases during the puberty. Lower muscle mass that is related with the maturation process. Once the athlete is not matured, what will happen? A person may have lower muscle mass. Obviously, we are rejecting some of the athletes. So that's what I'm saying, that we have to consider the puberty aspects during the talent identification model. And strength development is concerned, once the athletes are matured, automatically the production of testosterone level is higher and higher. So obviously that will lead to have a very good strength development. So then next one is peak strength gains. So boys reaches 1 to 2 years after peak height velocity, and girls reaches 6 months after peak height velocity. So these are the challenges of talent identification, and we have to have the model which should be focused on the all the ages. So we should not focus particularly about the concern aspects of the particular age, particularly when we are selecting the talents. So at last, let me conclude my presentation. Talent identification model is a long-term and continuous process. As I already told you, that we have to have the systematic and scientific process, and it has to be it has to be extended till the elite coaching system. And the talent identification model, we have to find or we have to write, or we have to use the trial and error based. No, there is no proper talent identification model. For example, the country which is using by Britain, so we cannot use the same model. Even even same thing happened in China. China was using the talent identification model of Russia at one point of time. Then after that, China had created their own talent identification model. Then where we could able to find the better performances. So likewise, we have to have the talent identification model through trial and error basis, and longitudinal approach to be focused. Yes, talent identification process, it's a longitudinal approach. We have to have the descriptive research. We have to have the longitudinal research. So we have to wait till the athlete reaches the adulthood, and it is a systematic and scientific approach, and it's the talent identification model that has to be started from grassroots, intermediate, at the elite level. So we have to focus we have to find the talents not from the young people, and we have to find the potential talent from the right age. So bringing the athletes to board in, that's not a matter. So we have to find the talents at the right age and the right training to be given for the right talented athletes. So with this, let me conclude my presentation. Thank you so much for the question listen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your interesting and informative speech on talent identification in sports. And I think I believe this is very important aspect for the future of sports. So on behalf of all the participants, let me put up with few questions. So let me start with Mr. Manohar Chendura. Um, he have asked in which sports are suitable to Indian population. Is there any finding related to Indian anthropometric and sports? Uh, he have asked the question.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, ma'am. Even I'm happy to answer for this question. Under top scheme, even I already mentioned in one of my slide. So we have a top scheme. So in the top target Olympic podium schemes, so we have identified 8 sporting disciplines. So which is there in the Olympics. So out of eight teams, athletics, archery, weightlifting, badminton, then shooting. Likewise we have, we could able to perform much better in this category. And we have one more scheme that is called POD, priority of disciplines. And again we have the tops division, they have selected 6 more disciplines other than 8 disciplines. So there are some disciplines where we could able to perform much better as far as Indian context is concerned. So that's what I think the answer is more convinced, I think.
Thank you, sir. And the next question is from Abir Koha. It's about objectifying the LTAD program. Can you please highlight the phase of learning of performance?
Yeah, pardon me, ma'am. Still, no, I couldn't get.
It's about the LTAD program. He's written LTAD program.
Yeah.
Can you please highlight the phase of learning and learning of performance?
Yeah, no, it's a LTAD, that is long-term method development. It's a lengthy process and it's a huge process. I think I may take another 10 minutes to explain about this LTAD process and performance. Okay. But in short, we have to follow some sort of long-term method development. For example, one athlete is there with you, with us. For example, 5 years. Within 5 years, we cannot do any miracle within 5 years, or within 3 years, or within 1 year. So we have to wait till we have to wait for the years, at least 8 to 10 years, not to get at least to get the national champion. So long-term method development. So we have to have the progression is very important, and we have to focus more about the specific areas and target to be fixed. And ultimately, after the years, 8 years, we could able to see the real assets. So,
okay,
this what about the question, madam?
LTAD. Okay, sir. The next question is there any list of talent identification tests that are done at the Sports Authority of India? Are there any benchmarks available today for talent identification?
Yeah. Even there are a lot of models are available. Even I think they may please browse national sport. I I already mentioned the previous slide. National sport, portal. Once they go to that portal, I think you may get all the variables. Yeah, national sports talent search. So here, once they go to this site, so you'll find a lot of variables and a lot of tests are available. And even we have a lot of tests to be conducted at the NCOA levels, at the top level. So there are different tests to be taken care, and it has to be monitored and monitored in sequential wise in a periodical manner. So there are tests available.
Okay, sir. Sir, the next question is there a sense of possible gender difference in predicting future performance of talents?
Yeah, yeah, that's what in as far as sporting is concerned, we cannot predict. We can assume that this person, this boy, he may reach to this level. But I mean that not all the athletes. We cannot see all the athletes are performing excel. Only few. Only few could be able to attain that level. So in that aspect, I mean that the lot of predictors are available, and we have to monitor the athlete periodically. So that's what I'm repeatedly saying, that we have to monitor the athletes periodically. Once periodical monitoring in all aspects. So once we monitor, obviously there is a chance to predict the talents in future.
Okay, sir. And the next question is how far parents are involved in talent identification?
Yeah, yeah. This is a very simple map. The parental support and parental contribution towards the sports participation is highly important. Even nowadays, the female participations are are emerging in our country. So the more female participation are getting in, and so that is why more participation develops and physical literacy develops, and we could find many boys and girls are coming in. It means that more talents are, we could able to find more talents.
Okay, sir. In the same question, Mr. Arun Kumar have asked one more thing. Nowadays, parents are very lazy about sport. They need immediate result from their kid. How can we change this mindset?
Yeah, no, this is no, no. That's what. No, we have to educate our parents. That's what I mentioned. The physical literacy. The physical literacy is that is to be developed in a general basis. So once the people come to know what is sport, then I think there is answer for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And the last question is from Mr. Karthikeyan. How do we handle under 10 years children to perform in sports and games?
I think we cannot put them in a performance sport training under age under 10 years of age. So I think the performance sport that comes after the puberty. I mean above 14 years, but still some of the sport, for example, gymnastics, aquatics, and diving. So there is a possibility to bring those people in a performance sport. So I think they may consult the consult coaches for the development.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me hand over the session to Dr. Armugam, sir.
Yes. Dharam sir, I've got only one. It's not a question.
Yes.
Just we have a lot of participants in the field of coaching and sports, and sometimes players. Some may be parents. So, what is your suggestion to help you in the high level performance manager capacity? You are having certain plan, you are going to execute throughout the country. So you are having the planning procedure, and what best and how best, in what way we can support to you for the talent identification. As a parent, as a teacher, as a student, as a sportsman, as a coach or physical director. On behalf of all, I pose this question.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, very interesting and very interesting question, and I'm happy to answer for this question, sir. Sir, actually, as far as NCO is concerned, we have found many athletes from the national competition, from Kelo India, from SGFI, from school games, from the All India Inter-University. Likewise, we have found many talents, and so we are going to almost all the centers. They have started the NCOE coaching system. So still we are about to start from the Toronto Center. So what happened here? So we have, for example, we have found around 150 athletes. So we have sent a proposal. We have sent a request the athletes to join in our scheme, but half of the athletes may not turn up. That might be the reason. Maybe the coach. The reason may be education. The reason may be his personal interest. So that's what the higher performance management system cannot work efficiently and effectively. So sometimes coach may not send his athlete to the NCOE centers, where the athlete could be able to get sophisticated, sophisticated equipment, high-class facilities, high world-class infrastructure, but we may not get such type of support from the parental side, from the coaches side. So once they send the athletes, I mean the talents are spotted out, so they have to come into our board. They have to get into board. Once they are boarded in, so it's our responsibility to bring them into the next level. So somewhere the I mean I could find I could find some lot of challenges here in this aspect, sir, as far as the coaches and parents are concerned. So I think they could, once they think of about this aspect, so obviously we could be able to perform much better in the high performance system.
Thank you, Jaram. Wonderful response. On behalf of all, from all the participants, we express our gratitude for your success. We pray for your great success in your field as high performance manager, to make a program, wonderful program, to make a what you call a process, and make them to get a medal in the international level. We all pray for your total effort. We pray God to give maximum strength to you and your family to achieve the target. On behalf of all of you, once again, we pray God for your success, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
As a token of love from our university, we appreciate the resource person. He came all the way, spared his time, valuable time, around 2.5 hours, just on behalf of the organizing committee and on behalf of the university vice chancellor, registrar, and all the faculty members and all the participants. On behalf of you all, we present the appreciation certificate to Dr. S. Jayaraman for his wonderful talk on talent identification in sports. Sir, please.
Yeah, sir, thank you so much, sir. And I like to thank all the participants for the active, for the patient listening of my session. And I have taken quite long session, I think, sir. Kindly excuse for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. This time to Uma, thanks Mama.
Yes, sir. Sir?
Uma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait, 2 minutes, madam. 2 minutes, madam. What if that's all on the net to pitch? Put in. Uma? Audible.
Sir, it's audible. Sir, it's audible. Sir, கேக்குதுங்க சார், பேசுங்க சார்.
சொல்லிடலாமா? what if சொல்லிடலாமா?
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I take this opportunity to thank you one and all for this wonderful webinar. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. S. Jayaraman for his wonderful presentation in terms of talent identification, starting from Kenya and Ethiopia, why they are in the top level because of their morphology, and they are familiar with the activity and physiological factors. And he has got a lot of references with China, how this China has won the medals in 2008. What strategy they followed to get the medal, and they have their own strategy of based upon their capacity and interest. They took these sport, that is so to say the traditional sports, they selected and they trained, they won the medals. And moreover, before that it was only the United States, they used to be in the medal tally, topper in the medal tally. After China took a strategy to get a medal, even the Russians also, the US, they are not able to come up because of the Russian strategy. So the strategy was well explained by Jayaraman, and a lot of process in talent identification, and what are all the process, and what the scientists say. Boomba, what he says, and another what he says. So he has clarified each and every other with examples and the different characteristics, the different phases of talent identification for natural and scientific and the selection process and so on, and the current method of talent identification used by different countries, different factors, anatomy, physiology, psychology, sociology, and apart from that, the special remark is injury management also taken care in the talent identification. So really wonderful talk. Then comes the challenges in the talent identification. What are the challenges we are facing? That also explained by him, and the Indian government, what they are planning, also explained by Jayaraman. So we are really aspect while selection of players and all. So on behalf of you, once again, I express my sincere gratitude on behalf of the university, on behalf of you, to Dr. S. Jayaraman for the talk. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind.
Uma,
Sir?